Kashmir's Terror Thursday. Bloodiest Eid in the valley. Insanity, brutality, cowardice. Kashmiri editor Shujaat Bukhari murdered. Rozedar killed before iftar. Constables Abdul and Mumtaz shot. Jawan Aurangzeb tortured and killed. Coward terrorist spill blood. Terror rears ugly head in month of Ramzan. Terror won't scare our brave hearts. Terror can't muzzle the power of the pen. Pre-Eid terror stuns valley. Rajnath vows to punish terrorist. No vows, no Kadi Ninda Act now.
Meanwhile, strong condemnation and condolence messages are also pouring in from every part of the country a day after Rising Kashmir editor Shujaat Bukhari was gunned down. People are paying their final respects to the journalist in the Kridi village in Barapola district of Jammu and Kashmir. Former Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir, Omar Abdullah, also paid a visit to the grieving family of the journalist. And emotional Chief Minister Mehbooba Mufti visited the hospital where Shujaat Bukhari and the others were rushed to on Thursday. Shujaat Bukhari was attacked on Thursday when he stepped out of his office and he was heading towards breaking his fast when two of Shujaat's PSOs were also killed in the attack on his vehicle. The political fraternity has unequivocally condemned the horrific incident, with Home Minister Rajnath Singh saying that there is no doubt that the death had a terrorist hand, and he has even spoken to the Chief Minister assuring action against Bukhari's killers. I'm going to go back now to India Today's Ashraf Ani for more updates. Ashraf, we are seeing now the last rites of a very brave, courageous and fearless journalist who minced no words but also advocated peace and always, defended human rights. Such a strong journalist, a person who earned the respect of many, not just in Jammu and Kashmir but across the nation. Just take us through, the kind of reactions coming in from the journalist fraternity, from people, because his death is really going to have a big impact on Jammu and Kashmir politics and also the political circles.
Absolutely, Avantika. Basically, that is visible from the way and from the crowd of the people from different walks of life which are in the last journey of Shujaat Bukhari in his hometown Kredi in Baramulla district. You can see how many people from different areas, being the last day of Ramadan, tomorrow being the Eid ul-Fitr, and on this day the people from different parts of the state had reached there to just pay last respect to the bereaved family and last respect to the Shujaat Bukhari. And also you can see that how painful this is for the family as well as for whole journalist here in the Kashmir Valley, that this is the holiest month of Ramadan. Tomorrow is the Eid ul-Fitr, which is the one of the auspicious occasion and happiest moment for the Muslims across the world and country, particularly in the state. And on that day, this family is receiving a dead body of their son.
Absolutely.
And not only that, but and also the two PSOs which are from the valley too, and they are also brutally killed in the yesterday's shootout. So this is the situation what the Kashmir is passing on, and today this brutal killing has been condemned by each and every section of the society. Even the Shuja in the day, my colleague was just going through the papers which had got published today. Each and every paper has completely given the front page for the condolence of the Shujaat Bukhari.
But one hopes that there are learnings from a tragedy like this, isn't it, Ashraf? Moments of celebration turning into moments of grief, of absolute sadness, with a pall of gloom descending on the household of each one the journalist, his 2 security personnel, and even that army jawan who was abducted and killed brutally by the terrorists. It's more shocking that all of this is happening at a time when there is a ceasefire, at a time when there was an agreement that during the period of Ramzan there would be, no at least retaliation from the security forces, and one was hoping that there would be absolute peace, but none of that has happened. These are some serious questions that the alliance, that the centre, that the state government, that the PDP just expressing anguish and breaking down will not help matters.
Absolutely, Avantika. That is the question which has been raised for so long in the Kashmir Valley since the coalition government formed by the Jammu and Kashmir PDP, which is and was very popular party in the state, particularly in the Kashmir Valley, and with the Bharatiya Janata Party, which is ruling the nation and is the largest party in the country. This alignment was formed between PDP and BJP so that something could, some peace process could be initiated in the Kashmir Valley to bring end to the ongoing violence in the Kashmir Valley for last 3 decades. But so far, absolutely both the governments failed in reaching the people, in bringing up some policy towards the peace, some bringing up any concrete Kashmir policy, what they have to do. As I was earlier telling you that the start of the tackling the Kashmir was not in the good sense taken up. First, it was the different ways and means were taken to tackle the Kashmir, and nothing was gained from the past mistakes. Even there was a front with the central government, the Vajpayee, who had taken in the better way the Kashmir as compared to the current NDA government. So far, these are the questions which no one has the answer. The government thinks that they are doing in the better way, they are dealing in the better way.
Tell me something, Ashraf. The Home Minister recently had also paid a visit to assess the impact of the ceasefire on the ground. He was also supposed to meet with all the stakeholders involved and also said that the government is open with talks. The Hurriyat had called the ceasefire a cosmetic measure, saying that this is a cruel joke and would not be involved in any way until and unless comprehensive talks takes place. Who all did the Home Minister meet? What was discussed during that iftar party, and what did the state government do thereafter?
Avantika, very interesting thing what you are asking. Basically, the Home Minister comes, he has the gathering, or we can say the people who are with the vicinity of the Home Minister are with the government. But those people who are alienated, they are not being reached. We can say on that way the separatists, there is not only one separatist, one may be hardline, some may be the neutral, some may be the soft, but no one can deny that there is a voice of separatism in the Kashmir Valley. That is why the youths, the educated people from the Kashmir Valley pick up the guns. We have seen recently in the past how the serving professor, how the serving army men, how the serving policemen, they just shunt their jobs and pick up the guns. Why? That is the big question. One has to come up that what is the problem? Why these things are happening on the ground? These questions were even pinned up by some of the political leaders, even some in the government, some outside the government, but no one is addressing that. Here is the big gap. To whom we should talk, that is a big question with the government. Basically, they have not yet made the mind to whom they have to reach, to whom they have to talk, how they can bring peace back to the valley, how the assassinations like the Shujaat Bukhari's yesterday could be stopped in the Kashmir Valley.
Absolutely. Yes. Shuja ul Haq is also joining us now. Shuja, and this kind of uncertainty, the ambiguity will only have repercussions like we are seeing today. The death, the loss of a seasoned, noted, respected journalist, Shujaat Bukhari, a fearless journalist who spoke, courageously on matters that concern the state, being gunned down, a cold-blooded murder, and losing 2 of his security personnel. Just take us through, the visuals that we're seeing. It's so unfortunate. On the occasion of Eid, most of the people, family members, journalists, today grieving the death of Shujaat Bukhari.
So that's right, absolutely. And I am actually, Avantika, at his native place in Baramulla, where his funeral is being conducted, and it's raining, very heavily, but that hasn't stopped people from coming and pouring in to participate in his last ride. There are, thousands of people who have come out and have come to his native place in this village. I can tell you that this is the most overwhelming scene that, most of us have seen. Avantika, it's also very tragic personally tragic for most of us in the media fraternity in Kashmir, because Shujaat Bukhari was not just a renowned journalist, but also a very humble and kind person, and acted as a mentor for a lot of people. He was a journalist who basically as long as he saw story in something, he wouldn't mind offending anyone, and that's perhaps the reason why there are so many people who are feeling absolutely sad with his demise.
I think that holds true for the entire nation. Shujaat, the entire nation today stands with the family members of Shujaat Bukhari and also those who have lost this life in this mindless violence despite a unilateral ceasefire being called. Give us an update on the investigations. Now, where do they stand? There is a video that has been accessed by the police. How are they studying it? Have they, arrested any suspects? What's the latest?
Well, the police has issued a statement. They have also said that, they have captured some of the CCTV footages, have captured these 3 motorcycle-borne, men who were fleeing away from that spot, and they have asked the people to help them in identifying it. But so far, it doesn't seem that there are any solid leads. The various kind of speculations being made, but for the investigation so far at very nascent stage, they are trying the level best. They have tried to collect CCTV footages from nearby marketplaces, but as far as my sources suggest, that not much has been captured in it. The attack has taken place in such a manner, and it was so planned that the attackers exactly knew, where to wait for him. It was a busy marketplace. They very easily managed to escape from it, taking the advantage of the crowd. Police is saying that they're trying to do their level best to identify these men, and have put in their best, investigators on the job.
Absolutely. Now, tell us something. What are the kind of reactions coming in right now from the state government? Where is the Chief Minister? She was quite emotional yesterday, literally breaking down, expressing her horror and anguish over the tragedy. But what are the next steps? What will be done now to prevent an incident like this from being repeated in the future?
Well, the government and the top functionaries of the administration are also aghast over it. But at the same time, they're saying that they will do their level best to find out who were behind it. As of now, it's too early for any concrete reaction coming in. We saw the Chief Minister, Mehbooba Mufti herself, coming to visit the family in the hospital last night. She broke down while she spoke about the incident. That pretty much sums it up. But at this point of time, I think the focus is to find out who were behind this act and why was it committed, what was the motive behind it, because it's absolutely unimaginable why a journalist would be targeted like this. I mean, at the end of the day,
and somebody who was quite well known and was liked as well. Somebody who had a strong voice, but at the same time advocated peace, defended journalism, human rights, was very balanced in his approach, and that is something that perhaps will really baffle the government and others who have known him all these years.
Absolutely, that's what will baffle most of the people in the rally. Not just the government or people in general, but also the press fraternity, to be specific, because there are questions that are cropping up. People are asking what exactly could be the reason of targeting someone like him. I mean, he, at the end of the day, was a harmless journalist who was telling people stories. Who would benefit from murdering him in such a manner in broad daylight?
No, but there were death threats as well that were issued against him, isn't it?
he had the threat perception, but that was very long back, Avantika.
Okay.
In 1990s, he had been abducted once and released. That's when the government had given him security as well. There were a few security personnel who would always remain with him, but it seems even they were taken by surprise yesterday when this attack took place right outside his office.
Right. I also want to just get in a quick word from Ashraf. Ashraf, just give us more details. We're seeing the visuals of the former Chief Minister Omar Abdullah also visiting the family members of Shujaat Bukhari, condoling and offering consolation to the family members. But what after this? Can you just take us through the entire ceremony, the last rites? What else will happen? Just tell us who all have in fact attended it. Some eminent personalities, noted faces. What about the separatists? Have they also come to condole the death of Shujaat Bukhari?
Avantika, basically, as I earlier said you that Shujaat Bukhari had a quality. He was very well-connected person in the Kashmir. I even have experienced that. He was reachable, and each and everyone having any issue just may get called to the Shujaat Bukhari, and he was always there. That was some kind of a great personality and great quality with the Shujaat Bukhari. That is why each and every section in the government, outside the government, is just condoling his death today. Even one side of the government is there, and on the other side opposition, just like as you said, the Omar Abdullah was there. And also you talked about the separatists. They have issued the statements. I am not in a position to see who among them is there in the last journey of Shujaat Bukhari, but we have seen the pouring in condolences from each and every Hurriyat leader, which includes from Sayyid Ali Shah Gilani, Yasin Malik, Mirwais Umar Farooq. Even some of them tweeted on the social media that this and have condemned this brutal act in the Kashmir Valley. And Shujaat Bukhari was not only a journalist, was not only a writer and a blogger, but I can tell you that he even established a connectivity for the cause of Kashmir and even promoting the Kashmiri language. He was the only journalist who in first time started a Kashmiri language newspaper that although was a weekly, but he started that thing in the Kashmir Valley. Even also he was well popular among the writers, among the poets, among the lyricists, among the even heading one of the cultural associations, one of the largest cultural association in the Kashmir Valley, Kamraz Cultural Forum. He was head of that for 2 years even, and tried to boost the Kashmiri language at different forms. He activated Jammu and Kashmir Cultural Academy. He activated and honored most of the writers who write in the Kashmiri language. That was the biggest initiative and his help for the Kashmiri language in the Kashmir. So that is visible in the people pouring in for his last journey, condoling his death, and even reaching to his family, even being the last day of Ramzan and tomorrow being the Eid al-Fitr here in the Kashmir Valley.
You know, Shuja, he also was very optimistic. All right, we don't have Shuja al-Haq, but Ashraf, he was very hopeful and very optimistic as well. You know, the article that he wrote for Rising Kashmir, he talks about the ceasefire, it being a glimmer of hope. He speaks of the surprise element to the announcement by the centre. So there was a lot of hope that the ceasefire perhaps would, you know, have a positive impact. And the halting of the operations would also yield a positive impact, which didn't happen. It's only the opposite had happened. But do you think that his killing had anything to do with him perhaps expressing hope or being positive about the ceasefire?
Maybe that is just yet to be investigated by the security agencies. But one thing is clear, that he on his capacity, through the means he had, like his newspaper, his blogs, his articles he was writing for the different national and international magazines and newspapers. Not only that, but even he took a further step when he established the Kashmir Society in the valley just 2 years back, and then was frequent visitor of the different forums in the national level as well as on the international level, where he was just playing a person for the peace initiative. He was a big supporter of the peace initiative between India and Pakistan, and he was with the conviction that probably the Kashmir problem can get solved if India and Pakistan come on the talking table. They talk, and not only talks between two countries, but even talks with the different sections of the society in the Kashmir Valley. That was his attitude. Not only his attitude, but even that is the attitude of many people in the Kashmir currently. But it is very, one cannot assess what was really, who was his enemy within. It is yet to be investigated, and probably when investigations will come over, then things will be clear. But
absolutely.
One thing is there. As in the Kashmir Valley, we have seen that such voices have been always calmed in the Kashmir. Even that on that stake, we can talk of the Mirwais, we can talk of the Abdul Ghani Loan, we can talk of the Shaban Wakil, one of the leading editors at that time in year 2000, when he was editor of one of the famous papers at that time, Al Safa in the Kashmir Valley. He was also brutally killed in his office by the assailants, and now the Shujaat Bukhari.
But this is a big loss for the state, isn't it, Ashraf? A fiercely independent journalist silenced forever by cowards, really, who according to the police at least, that's their suspect, came on that bike. But give us an update on the investigations. What are the police saying? How will they go about their investigations and find the killers of Shujaat Bukhari, his security personnel?
Avantika, there should be, at least in this case, there should be enough evidence with the security agencies, as they have captured so far and have hold up that is the CCTV footage which was collected from the some of the offices in the press enclave where this shootout took place. And also there are CCTV cameras now everywhere in the Srinagar city. The roads from where these assailants could have moved out, those grabs are with the security agencies. They are working on them. And not only that, but even the human intelligence, they are asking the people who are around, who were eyewitness to this shootout yesterday evening. They will be talking to them, are talking to them, and probably the security agencies, the Jammu and Kashmir police, are hopeful that they will come up with some concrete evidence within, if not within hours, but within days. And probably the public, the people and the country should know actually who were the actual killers of Shujaat Bukhari.
Ashraf, just kindly stay on with me. It's not just the media and the journalist fraternity in India who were completely taken by shock over the news of the gruesome murder of their colleague and respected journalist Shujaat Bukhari. The international press has also reported this incident. In fact, the cold-blooded murder has been reported in all major international publications, including CNN, BBC, Vancouver Sun, among the others. All reports, in fact, expressing their shock at the incident and even praising Shujaat Bukhari as an advocate for a peaceful resolution of the Kashmiri dispute. We're just taking you through some of those publications there. Ashraf, just tell us, the kind of news being reported in the newspapers. What are you hearing? And also the reactions coming in from other journalists, the journalist fraternity, including you and the others. What have your reactions, what have your interactions rather been with Shujaat Bukhari? He may have been known to be this fearless, independent, courageous journalist, but how was he personally as a person? Did he ever get into a confrontation? Was he known to have many enemies because of news coming in of him receiving death threats and also him getting an X-category security?
Avantika, some of the things which we should clear for our audiences, even at the national level as well as in the international level, he had no any kind of threat perception. Basically, in the early 2000, because I was reporting at that time.
So then why was he given an X-category security?
That was not Avantika only. That is not with the Shujaat Bukhari. Even this security is being offered to each and every journalist working for the national media. But it is depend on the individuals whether they will accept this security or not. Even I was offered this kind of security in 2002 when there was some kind of threat perception with the security agencies. But I rejected. I did not want it to be in the security net, and that is even with some of the correspondents of the national level, we can say, of the national papers and the national channels, but most of have not opted for the security. As far as the Shujaat Bukhari is concerned, as I earlier said, that he was very he had some beautiful qualities, like he was socially very engaged person, he was interactive, he was reachable, he was he was very famous. You can go through his social media networks, whether it was a Facebook or social media. He was well connected with the people, with his audiences, and then his paper, which was locally being published, was one of the well distributed and circulated papers in the Kashmir Valley. But so far, I personally am clueless that what was the problem, why he was on the radar, and who are the attackers. Probably these things will come clear when the police will come up with some investigations.
And the police have the answers to each one of your questions. In fact, as the nation and the state mourns the death of Shujaat Bukhari, a brave journalist who was murdered, we are also getting in the visuals now of the security forces paying their last respects to the army Jawan who was abducted. A resident of Rajouri, Aurangzeb, was picked up and abducted from Pulwama. He was in fact proceeding on leave for Eid when he was kidnapped, and his bullet-ridden body was found by a team of police about 10 kilometers from the area from where he was kidnapped in Pulwama district. The army there paying their last respects to the army Jawan. His body was recovered from Pulwama just hours after he was abducted by the terrorists. And this is the tragic news. This is the unfortunate part, and all of this happening on the eve of Eid. The young army Jawan on his way home for Eid celebrations.
For watching the video. For more such news and updates, please like, share and subscribe to India Today. Also check out our other great videos from our channel. We know you will love to.